Good morning, students. Today we are going to start a new chapter which is called as Rural Livelihoods. So it is from Political Science, grade 6. Okay. Rural livelihoods. Okay. Rural means something which is pertaining to or what we refer to village. So rural means village. Okay. And livelihood means what? Livelihood is to earn money for our food. How we earn money for our everyday expenses. Okay. That is livelihood. All right. So let's see what are these rural livelihoods. Okay. So what is rural? Rural means from the village. You have to remember, rural means from the village. Okay. And urban means from the city. So next time when we do urban, you should know that urban means from the city and rural means from the village. The opposite of rural is urban. Urban means from the city. So have you understood? Yes. So rural means village and
Yes,
urban
ma'am.
means city. So you have to keep urban in mind because our next chapter is based on that. Okay. Now, what is livelihood? I just now told you livelihood is a way of earning money. Okay. Livelihood is a way of earning money to live. So, rural livelihood means how people from the village earn money to live their lives. Yes. So, what does rural livelihood means? That means how do people living in villages earn their money? So, do you have any idea how they earn their money? So, let's see what are some of the different ways in which they earn their livelihood. See what small businesses these rural people they do. So, people in rural areas earn their living in a different way. They don't set up big businesses like factories or industries. So you won't find factories or industrial units or manufacturing units in the villages. But these people, they earn their money in a different way. Okay, so what they do business. They definitely do business. What is business? Business is buying and selling of things for profit. But they don't do it on a big scale. They don't do it on a large scale. They do small businesses. They sell whatever they have, whatever they grow in their farm, maybe they sell. Okay. So, first and foremost, they do fishing. Okay. Now, fishing is what? Catching fish from the water bodies, from the rivers or ponds that are present in the village, and then selling it in the market for money. So, people in the coastal areas can catch fish and sell it. So, those villages which are near coastal areas, that means which are near seashores, okay, those people they catch fish. Okay, they go in their boats for fishing, they catch fish and they sell it in the market. Okay, I think you have seen this kind of thing. Okay, then farming. Next is farming. What is farming? Farming is growing crops. Okay, and once the crops are ready to harvest, then they take it off from the field and sell it in the market. So they can sell rice or wheat or whatever they are growing in their farms. So they do all the work themselves. That is plowing, tilling. You know what is this being done, right? This is plowing. Okay. Then different crops are grown in different areas. So in India, throughout all the states, we don't grow same kind of crops because everywhere the climate is different. The rainfall is different. The temperature is different. So we grow different kinds of crops in different areas. Next is animal husbandry. What is animal husbandry? Means rearing of animals. That means you have like maybe sheep or goat or cows, buffaloes. We actually get a lot of milk products or uh, maybe at village level they just take off the milk and then they send it to some other industries where it is converted to some other product. Okay, or they sell the eggs or meat of those animals. So this is why animal husbandry is done. So some people rear animals like sheep or goats. They sell their fur or they sell the entire animal. So if you are rearing a sheep, sheep gives us wool. So they either sell the wool, okay, or sometimes they do trading of just the entire animal. That means they buy animal, and once the animal becomes big and strong, it has got a good market value. They sell it to somebody else. Okay, so this is their work. So that was this is a picture where it is showing that they are taking off the wool from the sheep. Okay, next is weaving. Some people weave cloth from yarn and sell that. Villagers can make good money this way. So do you know what is weaving cloth? Have you seen Gandhiji's picture with the charkha? Yes, hand spin, where he actually puts cotton and then it is woven into yarn. That means you make huge threads out of it and then you weave it to form a cloth. Okay, so this is the way it is done on a handspin. Okay, so these people do such kind of work. Some other small businesses are maybe people who live nearby forests. They go to the forest, they collect gum, honey, wood, and medicinal plants from the forest and sell them. So this kind of work we have already seen when we saw even Ashoka's time, right? Even in the Mauryan Empire, people used to do that. Even before that, people used to do that. So going to the forest, collecting all things from there, maybe some fruits which are edible or medicinal plants which are useful, honey, wood, etc., bringing it back to villages and selling them. So this is a picture which is showing you where they are collecting honey, and where this other picture is where the man is felling the trees so that he can collect the wood from it. Okay. Some other small businesses also include rearing cows and buffaloes, where milk agencies buy the milk from them. So I was telling you that sometimes they either rear big animals like cows and buffaloes who give them milk. So what do they do? Milk is a perishable item, you know, right? Milk cannot stay more than 2 days, otherwise it will get spoiled. So sometimes what they do, they collect every household, whichever house has cows and buffaloes, they collect all the excessive milk. Whatever is required for house, they use it, and whatever extra remains, they collect it, and then they sell it off to milk agencies in cities who are selling them. Okay, is it clear? So this is, if they have extra milk, if they have a lot of animals, they have extra milk, and they can then supply it to the agencies which will sell it off in the urban areas probably. Okay, then some other people, they are also involved in pottery. You know what is pottery? They make pots, various shapes pots. Okay, weaving baskets and making utensils, etc. So again, this is from your clay. Okay, so this is how a pot is being made on the potter's wheel. Okay, some people set up workshops and become blacksmiths or repairmen. What is blacksmith? So if they mend your shoes, or they, as you're saying, they keep your farm equipments up to the point by repairing them. Okay, so this is the kind of work they do. And some people start small shops and sell grocery or clothes and other things. So in the villages there are also shops, right? But they are not as huge as we have in the cities. So they have small shops, and these small shops, they sell some grocery items, like maybe just now somebody earlier said that they are selling. Where they are selling, they may be selling from their shop those grains or crops, or some of them put up clothes stores. Okay, or some of them put up whatever daily necessity things are there. Like you have seen, you know, those earrings, bangles, or hair bands, some kind of thing, where these things which they can sell in the shops and earn money. Okay, so this is a small village shop. Some other business also includes what? Some of them work as washermen, some of them work as nurses, and some of them work as barbers or etc. So whatever services are required in the village, we all require people to come to our house and clean our house or wash our clothes. Okay, or in the hospitals they require nurses, or those maids who clean the hospital premises, or who keep the hospital neat and clean. You require barbers who cut your hair. So a lot of other services are also required in the villages, right? So these are all fulfilled by some other people. Now list any small, 5 small businesses that are carried on in villages. So here in the beginning of the PPT, you will find which they are indulging in more. Okay, so it is what? Fishing, farming, animal husbandry, weaving, and some other small businesses can also. So you can write from here also. Okay, so what I will say is, make a list of all the businesses that they do. So if the answer comes for more marks, you can write all the required answers. Okay, so you can write weaving baskets, you can write the set up shops. Okay, so pick up things where you can actually see they are doing some kind of business. Okay, is this clear? Okay, now what forest products do we use in our daily life? So you can write from that slide, it was there, right? Honey, gum, wood, and medicinal herbs. Okay. So this you can use in your daily life. Okay. Now let's see what agricultural labor they do. Okay. So there are actually farmers who have land, and there are farmers who are landless farmers. Actually, what do we think whenever we say think of farmer? What we think, the farmer has his own farm and he does farming on that. Okay, that is he grows crop on his land, but not every time the farmer has a huge land. So when he doesn't have a huge land, but he is still a farmer, means what? He is working on somebody else's land. Okay. So when you think of a farmer, you think of a person growing crops on his own land. But many times that is not the case. In the villages, few people own large lands where they can grow enough crops to sell. So some of them have huge lands. They can grow a lot of crops on it. They have extra crops to sell also. After keeping for their personal use, they have extra crops to sell also. But most of the other people in the villages, what they do, they don't have such huge land. They have small pieces of land, or sometimes they do not own any land at all. Okay, when it is a small land, you cannot grow something in huge amount, or you can not have extra to sell in the market after your use, correct? So what do? So if they own very little land, they don't have enough crop to sell, correct? If the land is small, they cannot grow too much of crop. Then what happens? They don't have enough to sell. So if they own no land, they don't have any crop to sell. And if they don't have any land of their own, that means if they have small piece of land, they have something that is grown, but it is not enough to be sold in the market. And if they don't have any land, obviously they can't grow any
They
crop.
can't grow anything.
Yes. So then how do they earn money? They have to earn money, right? So how do they earn money? That is, they then take up jobs on other farmers' land. So in order to earn money, if they have very small piece of land where they can't grow anything extra to sell in the market, or if they don't have land at all to grow anything, in these two conditions, what happens is they take up jobs or they start working on other person's land, maybe that other person who has a big land. Okay, so on a big land, there are a lot of jobs that are available for that farmer. So the farmer who owns the land pays them for their work. So the farmer whose land it is, that is the huge land belongs to whoever, that person will employ these landless farmers and pay them for their work. So these people are called as agricultural laborers. So who are agricultural laborers? So you will explain here very carefully is that from here, you'll explain. Some people own very little land and they don't have enough crop to sell. Okay, and if they don't own any land, they don't have any crop to sell. So, in that case, they take up jobs on other farmers' land, and the farmer who owns the land pays them for their work. These people are called agricultural laborers. So, you will clearly explain, nicely explain it. Okay, now do these people, agricultural laborers, they have to work hard all day to grow the crops, take care of them, and then harvest them. So if they are working on somebody else's farm, they have to work for the entire day, okay, because they have to take care of the crops and then harvest them. Harvest them means to ripen them. These agricultural laborers don't get paid much for the hard work that they do. So in the villages, nobody is paying them extra money. They earn very little. So they earn on the daily wages basis at times. So every day, whatever work they do, they get paid up for that. Okay. So crops are taken only at a certain time of a year. So these people, what happens? They don't have they don't have work for the entire year because it rains for how many months? It rains for only 3 to 4 months. So they have work only for these months. So they don't even have work for the entire year. So they have to look for other work then. So for the remaining 8 months or
Like
9 months, they have to do some other work. So now let's see what are these other types of work that these agricultural laborers they take up after they have finished working on somebody else's land in the monsoon season. Okay. So what kind of work they do? They do loading of sand and stone onto trucks. You have seen people who take up those stones and sand filled in gunny bags and they put those bags in the trucks or the tempos. That work they do. So they work on construction sites, right? So wherever some government work is going on, or wherever some private contractor is doing some kind of building work, construction work, these people they take up work over there. Okay, so that they can earn money for the time when it is not a rainy season and there is no work for them in the farms, or they go to cities. So otherwise what happens is they leave their villages, they go to the cities, and they work on railway stations for as coolies. You know who are coolies? They take your luggage bags and go to the taxi stand or rickshaws wherever we want to travel further. So they take our luggage and they go from station to that place. So in this way, when they carry our luggage, we pay them some money. So they earn money. Okay, so this is a typical coolie. Hmm? Now, who are landless farmers?
ma'am, the answer is the farmers who do not own any land and work on other people's land are landless farmers.
Okay. Why do small farmers need to work in other people's field as laborers? They work as agricultural laborers in other person's fields for two reasons. One is if they have small land where they can't grow enough crops, or when they don't have land at all. So if they don't have land, then they can't grow any crops. So they work on other people's field in order to earn the money. Is this clear? Okay. Now what do landless farmers do when they have no work on the farm?
They usually do work like loading sand and stones
Mhm.
onto the trucks, building roads and dams, or
Mhm.
they do work in railway stations like coolies.
Very good. All right, so I will stop for the day. See you soon. Chalo. Bye bye.
If you like our videos, do share them and subscribe to our channel. If you want awesome quizzes, write to us. Keep watching and keep learning with Walnut.